Assalamu alaikum everyone, how are you guys doing? So there's been this persistent question that I've been seeing a lot on my YouTube, on the YouTube comments, and people even have been emailing me privately asking this question. And the main question is, how much does it cost to go and study at the Islamic University of Medina? So in this video, I want to talk to you guys about how much the cost of living is in Medina, how much does it cost to come here, how much does it cost to be a student, and so on and so forth. So let's begin. First off, let's look at what is free in the Islamic University of Medina. So what's free in the Islamic University of Medina is, well, studying here. Studying here is free. You do not have to pay a single dime to study here. There's no, student loan crisis like in America. No, everything here is free. Studying here is free. If you're on the Mahad, even the books are free. That's actually a good amount of stuff that's free, like not having to pay for university. Hey, assalamu alaikum. You want to know about the Islamic University of Medina? We have a free Get Acquainted resort this weekend if you want to join and talk about it and ask some questions about it. And how much are you charging for this free Get Acquainted resort this weekend? It's free. And when is this weekend? This weekend. Okay. And how much are you charging for this free resort weekend? A lot of people in America can understand how much they have to pay for college. Outside of just like studying here, there are also a lot of other stuff that are free for students. For starters, they pay for your ticket. All the students, their tickets are paid, so you don't even have to pay to come here. And during the summer, when we have our summer break, they pay for your tickets to go back during the summer as well. Another thing that's free is once you get here, all new students have 1 month free of the matam, the student dining hall. That's also free, but after the first month it does cost money. However, it's not a lot, but we'll get to that in the second section. Now, in terms of living in the dorms, that's once again free. Living in the dorms is free. Yep, it is free. Now, in the dorm room, you actually do get some stuff. You have one cabinet, you have a table to study for, and the bed and like a nightstand on the right side or whatever. On the right side. Some of the rooms don't have everything in it. Like my room did have the bed, but didn't have the mattress on top of it. So I had to go buy that. But generally, I think one of my friends told me this as well. If you go to the school, I think they will provide you for that. However, I don't know that for sure. But again, you get most of the stuff in your dorm room for free. The school also has free Wi-Fi. I mean, I wouldn't advise using it because it's not that great, but it's free Wi-Fi. And also you have free transportation to the Haram with buses. So they have buses in specific times. Well, sometimes those are not, great for all students depending on classes and when their classes end. But they do have buses to go to the Haram. So that's the free section. You basically get a good chunk that is free. So the title of this video of how much does it cost to be in the Islamic University of Medina is zero. There's no cost to be a student in the Islamic University of Medina. But this does lead on to the second bigger portion of this video, and that's the monthly stipend. Every student gets a monthly stipend. They get paid to actually be a student here because you can't work here. On the visa, it says you can't work here. Now, I know some students do work online. That's a different story. But to work, like to try to get a job at a store or whatever, you can't. That's against the law. It's against your visa permission here as a student. But they do pay all the students a monthly payment, and the payment is 870 rials, which is like $210. But I'll probably write it on the screen on one of the sides on how much it costs if I'm wrong on what I just said in the video. And so you get this payment every month as a student. Now, is this a good amount to be as a student? Well, it depends. And why does it depend? If you're a student who is coming here, you're not married, and you're just going here to study by yourself, this 150, 170-ish rial is not that bad. Sure, you're not going to go out to McDonald's every day. McDonald's is a little bit more expensive than in the States. You're not going to go out to Starbucks every day. But the 850, 870 bucks is bucks. That's a lot of money, those bucks. This 850, 870 rials, which is like $200 some, is good to do everything that is required for yourself to live, in terms of eating, you have the student matam, the dining hall place, and that's like a couple of cents, maybe a couple of bucks a month to eat 3 times a day and like every day of the week. It's really cheap. It's not that expensive. I mean, and the quality is not that expensive either. But that is not, you're not paying a lot to eat at the school. So that's a good thing. In terms of books, when you get to the Mahad gives you the books. So you don't buy them, but they do give you the books. So that's for free as well. And but once you get into the kulliyah, you do actually have to pay for the books. But of course, you also have some other like tiny stuff that every student needs once they get here. One thing is a Saudi phone number. You really do need a Saudi phone number. And it depending on what phone company you get. There's 3 phone companies here in Saudi. I'm going to do an entire section now. There's like 3 main phone companies that people use. It's STC, Yaqut, and Zain. STC is like, if you're in America, in the States, it's like AT&T. You have good coverage, but it's overly expensive. You have like Yaqut and Zain. Yaqut is like T-Mobile. You know, it's not too expensive, and the coverage not like too bad. And then Zain's like Cricket. It's like not that great, but it's pretty cheap, so you can use that as well. Generally, if you want to have like some internet, not like too much, it's like 100 riyals a month to have like 50 gigabytes. I think that's what it is, or a little bit more for like some of the companies. STC is like, if you want to have like 50 or 40 gigabytes, it's like 100-ish. So it's a little bit more expensive. That's why I'm telling you STC. While it has a great coverage, it is a little bit overly expensive. Now, why did I say this depends whether or not it's good or hard for students? Well, because I just talked about those who are not married, the bachelors, the azabun, Arabic word for you guys. For you guys, it's easy. It's not that hard. It's not like, it's not easy, but it's not hard. But you have to live by your means. Like, if you're coming to study at Madinah University, like, don't expect coming here to have the same quality of, housing and like dorm rooms or whatever. Some students who studied in a university, like outside, like in America, they come here and have it like really hard to get adjusted to it. And they're like complaining a lot because, the food's not that great in the matam. The dorm room is not like super amazing. And the 870 riyals a month is not a lot. However, I look at it as this way that, with how much knowledge and how much beneficial teachers there are in the Islamic University of Madinah, it should be a school that's paid for. But alhamdulillah, it's not paid, it's free, and they give us money. So I kind of look at it that way, like look at it in a positive light, that they're giving all of this for free, and they're giving you money to study because they want to help some students out. They can't give each student like 2,000 riyals, like $500 or whatever, because there's a lot of students coming in. So they do what they can, and I think that's a super positive thing, especially for me coming from someone who studied in American university and how expensive that was, like paying for gas, paying for the school, the books, and all that. Like, it was crazy expensive, and here it's a lot cheaper. So that's a good thing. Obviously, it is hard for some students to get adjusted in the beginning, but when you're coming here, look at it in a positive light. You're coming here to study Islam. And if you're coming here to study Islam, then this stuff of, the wages not being that great and you're not getting a lot of money as compared to in America, yeah, it's hard, but alhamdulillah, it could be worse. I think that's the approach that we should take on it. Now, in terms of those who are married, that's a little bit harder. The 870 riyals a month is not really doable for those who are married. It's a little bit harder. You have to find a house. You have to find a car. Videos on how to do those later, inshallah. And it's not easy because you're obviously not just paying for yourself anymore. You can't just get the, jamia, matam, the student dining hall food anymore. You actually got to go to the store, get some stuff, maybe go out with your wife if you're a good husband. And some people have kids. And this 870 is not a whole lot. My advice for students who are married is, if you're not here right now and you're planning on coming here, or you got accepted or whatever the case may be, study Islam. That should be your main priority. Like, before coming here, study Quran and Arabic. But also, if you're in the position that you're married and you have to support your family and, people are not going to help you, that your parents might not be able to help you. And understand that you need to make some money in order for that to be easier when coming here, because it's a good amount of money. Like, you know, getting a decent house is like 200 some reals like a month, like maybe 150 if you're getting like a really cheap house, 200 maybe 300 reals a month, depending if you have kids and how big you want your house. And, you know, from the 870, you know, minus 300-ish or 250-ish or whatever, you took out a good amount of money. That's forgetting like you have to pay for the water, electricity, and probably your wife's phone carrier, unless you're like a feminist and your wife pays for that, but that's whatever. So my advice is if you understand the economics of the Islamic University of Madinah, how much you have to pay, work around it. Don't just, you know, be oblivious to it and not do it. Because I know I've heard some stories of some students who had a really, really hard time, you know, with not having a lot of money, with not getting a good monthly stipend, with not, you know, having the greatest means, and their wife coming over and their wife complaining, they're saying like, I don't get the stuff that I'm used to back home. You know, it just depends on your family and your wife and your kids, if you have kids, and how they were raised, and if they're willing to make a huge sacrifice. But being the man of the house, clearly I'm like so red pill, you guys should focus on also supporting your wife, supporting your kids, and by making that easier, working during the summer, or get an online job. That's it, guys. There wasn't a lot in this video compared to my other 20-hour long videos. But I just wanted to quickly run down the reality of like the economic side. And the main takeaways, if you just want to like fast forward, if people just fast forward to the summary, I guess, is studying in the Islamic University of Madinah is free. You know, alhamdulillah, it's free, and they give you a monthly stipend. Now, you're not going to be Mr. Rich, you know, you're not going to be like, you know, Bill Gates, Elon Musk. Not in Medina. Try working while studying Islam. That should be your main priority, study Islam, and work so you can get some more money so that when you come here, it'll be a lot easier. You know, and everyone's like ready to like, you know, I'm going to go in a tent and study and, you know, in the blazing heat and have my Quran open. But like, that's not reality. Like, the reality is sometimes you want like decent food. Sometimes you want to hang out with some friends and get some coffee or whatever. And again, if you're not married, that's a little bit easier. If you're married, it's a lot harder. So yeah, that's the video, guys. I have some video ideas coming up. I have some ideas on how to get a house, looking for a car. And I'm thinking of going into looking at the Arabic language as well, tips on how to study it. So if you guys are interested, leave a comment down below. And Assalamu alaikum.